I'm Dr. Sangeetha V from Computer Science PG, Christu Jayanti Institute of Technology, Christu Jayanti University. Today we are going to see regarding the operating system overview. Operating system, it is nothing but it is an interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. So an operating system is a software which is going to perform all basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management, and how to handle the input and output data, and the controlling of the peripheral devices such as disk drives and printers. So operating system is a software. It will enable all the application to interact with the computer's hardware. So the software that contains the core component of the operating system, it is called as the kernel. So the primary purpose of an operating system is to enable the application to interact with the computer hardware and to manage the system software and the software resources over there. So some popular operating systems are Linux operating system, Windows operating system. As of today, the operating system is found almost in every devices like mobile phones, personal computers, mainframe computers, automobiles, each and everything. So operating system, it is nothing but it is an interface between the user and the application. It is going to be a interface interaction that happens between the system and also the user. What all the events that we are giving, that it will hold the signals and it will imply the signals accordingly. So the definition of an operating system is that it is a low level of software which supports all the computer basic functions such as scheduling the task and controlling all the peripheral devices. Here I given the architecture of the operating system, like see the software and the hardware. So the software and the hardware are the main core over here. In hardware, it is going to have some machine language, microprogramming, CPU, memory, and input and output devices. So operating system, it will come in between, and like utilities, these are all the systems that we are going to handle with. So the user end we are going to use with the applications program. So it is where it is an interface between the computer hardware and the user that is given. So what are the components of an operating system? There are two basic components of an operating system. One is shell, the another one is kernel. Shell is nothing but it is the outermost layer of the operating system where it handles all the user interactions. It will interrupt all the input from the operating system and it will handle all the outputs from the operating system to the user. Kernel is the core component of our operating system. The kernel is the primary interface between the operating system and the hardware that is given in our system. So functions of an operating system. We have so many functions where the operating system is going to perform: memory management, process management, device management, file management, network, security, controlling, job accounting, error detection, coordination between the other systems and the user that is going to do some work with the system. So other important activities are, it makes some security. It means by giving some password and similar other techniques to prevent our data with the unauthorized users to access the program or data. Then control over the system performance. It record all the delays between the request of a service and it will respond accordingly from the system to the service. So job accounting, it will keep a track of time of all the resources that is get used by various jobs and users. Error detecting aids, production of dumps, traces or error messages. It can be detect error accordingly and it will perform the operation with the error detections. Coordination with the other software and the user is nothing but it will assign the compiler or interpreter or assembler to interact with the software to get all the various set of data that is get used by the user of the system. So operating system generations. Operating system has evolved over the years. So this evaluation through the years can be mapped using the generation of an operating system. There are 4 generations in the operating system. The first generation, it belongs with the year of 1945 to 1985. Second generation, third generation and fourth generation. We are going to see the explanation. So first generation operating system, it is all contained with the digital computers. We as of now we are all connected with the digital computers where it does not have some material construction until the Second World War. So calculating all those things will have a huge amount of sector. Calculating the engines with mechanical relays were built at the time. So however, the mechanical relays are very slow and we are get replaced with the vacuum tubes there. So first generation computer, it uses some vacuum tubes and plug boards. So these machines are enormous and it was very little slower to the system. When we are giving off or implementing or executing of data, it is little bit slow at that time. So these early computers were designed and built by maintaining a group of people. So programming languages, as we know, we are not that much well versed in that level. So that level programming languages are like Fortran, Algol, COBOL. So these operating systems are well done with that kind of programming languages. So all the problems were constructed with the numerical calculations over there. So in 1950, that we implemented the punch cards, where we introduced the punch cards. So getting the improvement of the execution of an operation in a precise way. So instead of using plug board, we implemented the punch cards and will read the operation accordingly into the system. So second generation computer, it uses the transistors and batch system. So transistor, it leads to the deployment of the computer system, which could be manufactured and sold by the paying customers. So these machines were known from the mainframes, and it was locked with an air conditioning room with the staffs to operate all those machines that time. So batch system, it is introduced to reduce the wasting time in the computer. So a tray full of jobs with collected input room and reading all those using the magnetic tape. After the tape was rewound and mounted to the tape drive only, the batch operating system was loaded with the first job from the tape and it will run it. So the output was written on the second tape. After the whole batch was done, the input and output data will be remain and the tape will be get printed. So it takes us a huge process of execution at that time of second generation. Then comes the third generation. We uses the integrated circuits and multi-programming. So until 1960, we are using two types of computer system. That is, one is scientific, another one is commercial computers. These were combined by IBM in the system of 360-degree. Like this used the integrated circuits, and it provides a major price and performance advantage over the second generation systems. Like in second generation, as we seen, like batch operating system, we have to take the tape, we have to load that batch operating. After reading all those tapes, it has to be printed in another set of things, then it is going to give you the report. It takes some huge amount of time, where the time is minimal in third generation. Third generation operating system also introduced some multi-programming. It means that the processor was not ideal with one job that is get implemented to that operating system. While a job was competing, the input and output operation can do the another job also. Another job was scheduled on the process, so that it will randomly executing both the jobs, where the time will not be wasted in third generation. So fourth generation is the personal computers that we are using. It is very easy to create with the development of a large scale integrated circuits. Here we are using the chip which contains thousands of transistors and center of silicons, where we are using microcomputers, which is much cheaper than the mini computer, that made it possible for single individual to own one of them to operate their own function of data. So the advent of the personal computers will lead with the growth of networks. So when the growth of thing of personal computer has been evaluated, so growth of network so simultaneously lead in an increasing part of way. So this created the network operating system to be get distributed. So the user were aware of the network which is going to deploy with the network operating system. It log into the remote machines, where it can apply files from, copying the files from one machine to the other machine. As the fourth generation computers we are using, it developed with large set of scale integrated circuit. So these are all the generation of operating system. So we have seen like what is meant by operating system, what are the components of an operating system, functions of an operating system, and generations of the operating system. Thank you.